Hey, what's happening, gamers? How's everybody doing? Tonight's stream is brought to you by Channel VIP Akira, and this is more of NieR, I believe, is the name of this game. So I just came off another stream, so I'm a little still a little jazzed from that, but I should be able to handle this one okay, at least for an hour and a half, I think. I'm not gonna kill myself for certain ultimate streams because there's no way to get 1,000 views for things like this and Grandia and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna do like 3-hour streams or I'll drop dead. So let's just have some fun. Akira, Cammy, if you guys are awake, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and I'm gonna look forward to playing some more of this game. So, can people hear me? I hope people can hear me. Can you guys hear the game at all? Maybe? Oh, they can't hear the game. Okay, now people can hear the game. Okay. Everything's super weird. now it looks like my program froze a little bit. Everything good? All right, we're good. Let's go. Everything's golden coming up near far wherever you are. A Twitch stream? How could a Twitch streamer get banned in the age of Elon Musk?
Because...
What did they do?
Oh, she was temporarily banned.
Oh, she was temp banned. Did she threaten somebody?
Yeah, she was harassing people that she claimed that were harassing her.
Oh.
She basically was saying they suck at gaming, they're horrible human beings, stuff like that. Because she said they were harassing her, so she decided to harass them back.
Ah, so fight fire with fire.
Yeah, it isn't really working.
Yeah. So anyway, welcome Akira. I hope you enjoy more of NieR. Thank you so much for being an ultimate on the other channel. And hopefully everything works out well with this game tonight. Whoops. I don't remember where I'm actually heading now. Hello, how's it going? Okay, so we're going this way. Is it this way? This. Nope, this is not it. We have to go to a planet, I believe. Yeah, good night, sweetheart. I believe... Yep, love you too. I believe we have to go to a place that has... We's have to go. I have to go to a place that has a jet. $210. Ah! Wait, no, it's not terminal. Hangar. What do I think that Zelda can reach and can't? That's a good question. Aha! This is it. What? Akira, it's your birthday? I wish I had a birthday gif for you, dude. Happy birthday. I hope you enjoy your stream. I'm really bad at this game, but, happy birthday. I'm gonna lose on Akira's birthday. Wait, I thought I was supposed to go to another planet. How do I go to another planet? But... Are we ready for Christmas? Mostly. We have our tree up. We got a Robin replica costume. That's cool. How on earth do I leave? I can't remember. You want to adjust the combat style? No, I want to take off and go to a different planet, yo. I thought you leave and go to planets by going to the hangar. Maybe I'm thinking of a different game. Audio chips are off? What are audio chips? are my fondest Christmas memories? Oof, that's a tough one. I've been alive a long time. I have good Christmas memories of childhood, and I have good Christmas memories of marriage. So I guess it all depends what you guys want to hear about. I don't know.
Ah, 2B. Maintenance finished?
Yes, Commander.
You detonated your black box in order to defeat the enemy. Bold, but risky. Try not to be so reckless next time.
Understood.
I know you're fresh out of maintenance, but I have another mission for you. I need you to head to the surface, rendezvous with the Resistance, and do some recon.
Doesn't YoRHa have a dedicated Resistance contact already?
We haven't been able to get in touch with them, so we'll need you to look into that as well.
Understood.
I don't think you guys realize or remember how old I am. Like, I'm celebrating a milestone birthday in just 2 months. Not a milestone I'm looking forward to, mind you. I've been married for 16 years. I've had 4 cats. Meow. Hello, 4th cat. Yep. Although I look 20 years younger, but just not in the number-wise. I think I have to talk to somebody who's up here. What? No! No! Dang it. Call it back. Thank you. Let's go. Come with me. Come on. Get in here. Get in here. Well, I guess so long. Bye. You had your chance.
The surface? That means we'll be getting flight units, huh? Better head for the hangar. Usually we can't get near flight units. They're way too expensive for us grunts. Too bad they can't mass produce these things yet.
Oh, that's right. It makes you start over again. Oh, I mean, not over again, but you know what I mean.
The hangar's up ahead. Let's go.
I look 23. I don't know about that. Maybe 26. Although if I shave, I look 12, which is terrifying. And I don't like... I mean, I like buying games online better than going to stores. Whenever we go to stores, like, they always ask for my ID to buy an M-rated game. And it's just like, are you kidding me? It's like, look at me. And they're like, well, I mean, you know, we're just making sure. It's like, are you serious? It's like, come on, this is insulting. Especially if I don't have the thick beard. Part of the reason why I grow the thick beard is so I look older. Because I hate being carded. It's so embarrassing. It's like, you know how long I've been a gamer? Come on. Come on. But happy birthday, Akira. We're on the right track now, so I'm gonna get out of here.
Hey, 2B. Why do you think they sent a combat model like you to a recon job? If all they want is intel, we scanner models are built for that kind of thing.
Orders are orders.
All right, all right.
Oh, no, I forgot how to shoot. There we go. Okay, now I know. Wait, what? Okay, there we go.
2B, you're going to have some new weaponry installed from here on out. I'll put up instructions for you.
Thank you.
Make sure to commit them to memory.
Roger. Missile barrage. one of them down. There's one. That's two.
Bunker to 2B, come in. I've set a landing point for your flight units. You'll be touching down quite a ways from the resistance camp, unfortunately. Sorry for the trouble, but we can't risk the enemy discovering their position.
Understood.
Good luck down there.
Thank you. Let's see. Christmas memories. Christmas of 1989 was pretty special. That was the year, I believe, the Game Boy came out. And I remember... I don't remember the other gifts I got. I only remember the Game Boy. That's so weird. I thought my dress is supposed to be black. Why does it look blue? Just the way the color looks? Auto chips. So that's my sword again. Anyway, I can't remember the other stuff I got that year. It's not really that big a deal, but the Game Boy only came with Tetris that I remember, and Super Mario Land was a separate game. And I remember being like so sucked into it. Like the NES, I don't believe I got at Christmas time. I believe we picked up the NES in 86 or 85, like after the holidays. Might have been a birthday present. I don't remember. Like, the 1980s is kind of getting harder to remember. And also, you guys have to remember, I'm the survivor of a very bad car accident, so I have a traumatic brain injury. So some things aren't as easy for me to remember a lot. There are parts of my life that are just, like, kind of blank. That I lived through, obviously, but I don't remember them. Because, you know, I'm around, but I got in a very bad car accident in 2004. So, you know, parts of my life are just kind of like a haze. Like, basically, I guess I would describe it as kind of like static. If anybody knows what that's like. I can't access this right now. Well, what am I supposed to access then? Just jump from building to building? But, I remember my grandfather was really drawn to the small little video game console thing. Because he had seen other video game systems and stuff like that, but this was something in the palm of your hand. And it wasn't like one of those Tiger Electronic games.
Target location acquired. Marking on
and
map.
Even though the Game Boy was my Christmas present, my dad ended up getting addicted to Tetris, and all of Christmas Day and until right around his birthday on the 27th, like, he kept playing my Game Boy whenever I'd set it down. But he did replace the batteries, at least. So my dad and I took turns playing that, even though it was my present. And that was really fun. And then Christmas of 1990, I believe is when the Fall of the Foot Clan came out on Game Boy. And something else. And my grandmother, who didn't really give me good gifts, outside of... She was the grandma that always gave clothes. Right? So, she, for one time only, I was a huge Ninja Turtles fan. And I've seen pictures of my childhood, and I had, like, Ninja Turtle, like, bed sheets and Ninja Turtle, like, comforter and stuff like that. And, my grandmother was the star of that Christmas, because Christmas of 1990, I don't really remember what my grandparents, like my mom's parents, really did. But I remember being so blown away by my dad's mom because, like I said, she was a clothes grandmother. She was a practical grandmother. She was the grandma that my wife really loved a lot. She was, you know, very, very strong woman of faith, and she just was a very practical grandma. But one year, Christmas of 1990, she became like the cool grandma, because I don't know why she did it. I never got a chance to ask her why she did this, but she got me like 3 Game Boy games. It was Fall of the Foot Clan, some animal game, and some type of, it might have been RoboCop or something. I don't remember. But I do remember the Ninja Turtles game. And, like, I was just so blown away by it. Now, she never bought me any games after that. But it was just for that Christmas. It was like, it was all I could remember, because every Christmas before and after that was always practical things. Clothes for school, because the back-to-school clothes stuff, like the fashions, or whatever for the time. Whoops, I probably shouldn't kill those things. They, my clothing of choice for school was always behind by a year or two.
We've been seeing more and more enemies like this lately. They just stand there and stare into space. It's pretty weird.
So we didn't really come from like wealthy family outside of my mom's parents, but my mom's parents always got toys. They never really got clothes. My dad's mom would always, like I said, practical grandma, so she would always get clothes on sale, and that would be our, you know, our clothes for the year. They'd usually be like 6 or 7 months behind whatever the current fashion was. So I always stood out like a sore thumb at school, because everybody would be wearing like whatever the newest show was or whatever. I would be 6 months to a year behind with clothing, and sometimes I got bullied for it. And we used to get bullied pretty bad in the 80s and 90s. A lot of people don't remember that, but I remember. It was nasty. Usually based on how people looked, like the clothing that you wore or the lunchbox that you had. It's pretty messed up. But yeah, Christmas of 1990 was really good for that stuff. The other ones, all the other Christmases are a blur outside of when the Super Nintendo came out. I was completely enamored with the Super Nintendo, and the launch for the Super Nintendo wasn't the best. I know that. I might have my stuff wrong, but I believe the Super Nintendo launch consisted of Super Mario World and F-Zero, and I don't remember what else. I think the following year was A Link to the Past for Christmas. And whatever year A Link to the Past came out, if it was 1991 or 1992, I don't remember. But I remember that I was just so excited to you know, get A Link to the Past. And that's all I did that day. I think that was one of the only real gifts I got. Because like I said, I came from a poor family, so video games back then were like $70, $80. They were very expensive. So if you got like 2 or 3 Super Nintendo games, you were a pretty lucky kid. So, whatever year A Link to the Past came out, I think I got 2 games. I think it was A Link to the Past and, whatchamacallit, Turtles in Time. And that was it. But the entire day, either I played Turtles in Time, or I played Link to the Past for like a week straight. Or as much as I could, because I had, I wouldn't say a curfew. I had a time limit of how long I was able to play games. But I can't tell you how long my time limit was. Every year I got like an additional 5 minutes until I was a teenager, and then I basically didn't care about my parents' rules anymore. But I believe when I was 8 or 9, I was able to play video games for 30 minutes a day. Although I would later sneak, especially my Game Boy was the quickest way to sneak in more gaming time. And I would bring my Game Boy to school. Because I didn't have friends, really. So video games kind of like was my friend. So I do remember bringing my Game Boy with me all the time. Whenever I got a chance, which, you know, that was an expensive system, and if my parents knew that my Game Boy was at school with me, they probably would have freaked, because it was a pretty expensive system. My grandparents, I'm pretty sure, are the ones that bought it. My mom's parents bought it. And then my dad got, like, one game. And the games were less... I believe I ended up getting more Game Boy games than NES and Super Nintendo games because they were more expensive. So, like, you know, you would get, like, one or two Super Nintendo games for Christmas, and then maybe one game for your birthday, and then that was it. And with me, Christmas comes, and then 2 months later is my birthday. So, winter was always my favorite month because I would get cool stuff in the wintertime, and then the rest of the year, you know, sometimes I had an allowance that and chores that I would do, and every 3 months or something I could get a game. I could save up toward it. My dad had a economic system of trying to teach me stuff, because I struggled with school stuff. So my dad found ways of teaching me math that I could understand, and a reward system. So it gave me stuff to work for, I guess you could say. Resistance camp.
So this is the resistance camp, huh? We should probably go talk to their leader first thing.
So, yeah, was the Link to the Past 91? Does anybody remember? Well, that's a big dude. You guys can read it at your own pace. I'm kind of tired to read, so. Are you not the person I need to speak with? Oh, Orange. I love how, like, 2B walks. She's just, like, so powerful, so confident.
You're... number 2.
Hmm? You know about 2B?
Yes, well, the bunker told me to expect you. My name is Anemone. I'm the leader of the android resistance that controls most of this territory. You must be the new scouts we heard about. Well, I'm sure my people will have plenty of information for you. Please feel free to ask them anything you like.
Zelda, if you lie down next to me, you're gonna make me wicked tired, yo. Amber, she's fast asleep. Welcome, Amber. Yeah. No problemo. Ambi, it's okay, honey. You're fine. Yep, night, sweetheart. I'm glad. Okay, so this guy doesn't have plug-in chips. Okay. Agree to help, yes. Alright. Thanks a million. Broken spring, small gear, broken circuit.
Target location data obtained. Marking on map.
Woot. Oh, there's motion controls in this. Oh wow, that's kind of handy. So I guess if I ever get scared, I can just use motion controls. Look at that. Oh, hello. Oh. Tell Amber good night. Oh man, I spelled heart. There. Okay. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I think there's one more person I need to speak to in camp. What? Strange resistance woman. Oh, how do I save? This game doesn't autosave. You need to activate the access point over there in order to save. Once you activate a terminal, you can save from anywhere nearby, so as long as you're within range. Connection to the icon displayed on the top right of your system menu and quick save. Okay, where are you pointing to again? There's no autosave. I'm gonna say it again. There's no autosave. Thank you. What do you want? Nope, I don't want anything else. I'm good. You said the autosave is over here? That's the map. That's quick save. Well, that's quick save. That's not like save. Save your current progress. Transport. Inbox. No. I don't want to do that.
Map data obtained from bunker.
Hooray.
Data may be displayed from the system menu.
Map data, huh? It's hard to get an accurate picture from this. Our satellite resolution isn't so hot. Hopefully they deploy some new satellites soon.
A general idea is good enough.
You don't let anything get in your way, do you?
No, she does not. Alright, so this is a resistant camp. Did we talk to everybody here? I'm ready to leave now. What? Are we gonna rest? Okay, let's go. Whoops. I think that video games have been like a big help for me because like so many game releases are tied to you know, they kind of trigger memories for me a little bit, or at least they can give me a rough idea of what was going on at that time, because like I said, my head got kind of jostled pretty good. So I've had to reprogram certain things, and I base a lot of life on video game releases because, you know, it's so important to my job that it just it helps, you know. But I mean, the only other Christmas memories I can remember from the past just mostly fall like on video game releases. I know we didn't get the N64 for Christmas. I got it for my birthday. But I don't think I got it as a present. I don't remember. It's kind of fuzzy. I have two different memories. One memory is my dad got me the system for my birthday. The other memory is I saved up my Christmas money.
This must have been quite a city once upon a time. Too bad vegetation's claimed most of it now.
And my dad helped me pay for the N64.
Operator 60 to 2B.
But I don't remember.
It is time for your regularly scheduled contact.
This is 2B. Nothing to report.
Good to hear. Say, how's the weather on Earth today? Good?
It's fine. Does that question have anything to do with our operation?
Not really. I just figured it might feel nice to have some good weather.
Feeling nice has no bearing on completing missions.
That is so like you, 2B. Anyway, talk to you later.
Bye. That's kind of weird. Another memory I have is the N64 was there, wrapped up, and then we went and it had no games. And I actually had to go with my dad to a toy store, and I used my birthday and Christmas money to get some games. But like I said, I can't remember exactly. The GameCube release, I was an adult, so I remember that. But, you know, the reason why I probably have such a good memory of the animated series is how often I would watch it.
Big plants, too.
Report. Records show that vegetation has grown to an abnormal size since the departure of humans.
Wonder if there are any huge boars and such, too.
Whoa! Oh, they're gonna fight me. Okay. Alright. Why is my little guy not shooting? Isn't he supposed to shoot automatically? There he goes. Alright, that makes life easier. Thank you. How do I dodge again? There we go. This game looks really good on Nintendo Switch, actually. Surprising. I mean, it definitely looked better on PS4 when I played it, but it's not bad on Switch. They did a pretty good job of optimizing it. Could they get the people who optimize this game to work on Pokemon Scarlet? It's so bad. Oh my gosh. Yoink. What was it like working with IGN? It was okay. I never actually got to work for them, though. I worked with them. I almost got hired by them, but it's kind of a painful memory. I had friends at IGN. I still have... Destin is still there. Destin is, I think he's their head editor now or something like that. And Destin's actually older than me. Like, I believe he just celebrated his 40th birthday. I haven't talked to him in years, though. Last time he and I talked was E3 of 2016, I think. But I knew a lot of the guys that I knew from IGN and other places got their start on other websites. Destin got his start on Screw Attack. And from Screw Attack, he went to IGN and he built up his career. I worked for smaller trades, but even if you work for a smaller trade, you still end up, you know, running into the bigger trades. And for the most part, I don't know if it's still the same now, because I've been out of the official trade business for a long time. But before, you would actually meet up with friends from other publications, especially when you were doing like press stuff. Like you would run into... I never met him in New York City. He would only be in the California area. So I got to know the IGN guy who would come to the New York City and Boston event. But I mean, back then our industry was very small. So it's like you didn't want to make enemies with... You know how YouTubers have like vendettas and stuff like that, and they will smile to your face on camera, but they don't like you off camera? Like, you know. Game journalists didn't really behave like that back then because it was a very small industry, and you know, you didn't want to make enemies because of how tight-knit everybody was. Like, for the most part, when you would go to press events, you would see the same, you know, people all the time. Game journalism eventually got weird when I left. Like, by 2014, things were definitely changing. But, from 2005, my first... I think one of my first jobs... like as a reporter in the field, because I was just a writer for a while. I think the first thing my boss had me attend was in 2008, and I was terrified because I'd never actually, you know, the person who normally wrote, you know, for them got very sick. I don't remember what they had. It might have just been they had like the flu or something for a while. But I had to replace them, and I had to go into... It was either Boston or New York City. And Amber was with me, I believe. And I had to... It was kind of a train wreck. It was pretty bad. Because I didn't know what I was doing. I was so nervous. I wasn't the type of person that was comfortable speaking to people, and I had to interview a Japanese developer. And I don't even remember what the game was, but I was terrified. You know, and I was worried I was going to offend them, and also I was going to ask stupid questions. But I can't even remember who my first, like, you know, job was, because I was just filling in for people. PAX was more laid back because indie developers were very chill. Like, game developers, big companies expected you to, you know, to know what you were doing and to have confidence and stuff like that. And my first, like, times being wet behind the ears, so to speak, I didn't have that confidence yet. That confidence came with time. My editor told me I was a natural eventually, but I was a field reporter then. When he called me a natural, it was after a year or two, and I was so used to it. But the first couple events was really hard. I feel like I made a lot of mistakes. It was fun though. It was kind of like a rush a little bit. A little bit. I'm just gonna let them shoot here. There we go. Let's see. But to answer your question, I knew a lot of the old IGN team, and looked up to a lot of them. Matt Kasama, and gosh, what was his name? The original N64 team. They were my heroes outside of the Nintendo Power guys. Nintendo Power guys were some of the most chill dudes I ever met. They were really nice. Unfortunately, I didn't really get to hang out with the Nintendo Power magazine people. It was devastating because, you know, you grew up reading these guys, right? And I got to meet them for a few years before they were bought out by Future. I can't remember the name of the magazine. And then once they were owned by Future, and they didn't stick around very long. And they were always kind of like the guys who always, like, you know how, like, I don't know if any of you have ever attended a press event.
Jamming caused by enemies in local vicinity.
But sometimes there's always, like, that really, like, talented, like, journalist that just, like, gets everybody in the room to laugh, and they're total naturals, and, you know, they're masters of their environment. That's what the Nintendo Power guys were like. Like, they were really cool. I would say that they were like the top dogs of our industry. Like, and they were just so nice to everybody. You know? But they only attended, obviously, Nintendo-oriented events. Like, you would run into them, like, if there was a game that was multiplat, you know, coming to the Wii or the GameCube or something, you would run into them sometimes. So that's how I got to know some of them. The IGN guys, I knew off and on from the early 2000s and the Screw Attack years until, like I said, I only know one guy who's still there. I think Rich is gone too. Rich is with someone else. He was the head of the Nintendo team for a while. After Matt, I think. I actually got to know the GameSpot people a lot more than the IGN team, because we ended up attending most of the same events. IGN came to the big events in New York City on occasion, but I kind of consider GameSpot being a smaller publication. At least it felt like, so they would show up at a lot of the same events that I went to. Because I didn't really get to cover the big stuff as much, because, you know, why would you fly someone down to E3 when you already have, like, the publication worked in California, right? So it wouldn't make sense to take your East Coast reporter, which I was, for the publication I worked for. I handled the East Coast, Boston and New York City. For my boss, it wouldn't make sense to get a plane ticket for 5-6 hours and a hotel when he can just call up somebody who's local in the LA area or something like that, or out on the outside of the LA area. He even had a guy from Nevada come up sometimes for E3. So the only time I ever covered E3 for the publications I worked for is when someone was really sick and they couldn't do it. And that only happened twice. And then once I had my YouTube channel, then my boss started to bring me down more because my YouTube channel was growing quite exponentially. Like I was pretty. I was the biggest YouTuber he had until Irate Gamer joined, and then it was I had to go. I had to go to some events with Chris Bors. That was an experience. The Irate Gamer. Oh, I have stories to tell those years. I won't though. Chris is he's a different man than he was. I will say that. He's mellowed out a lot. Exponentially. But the dude was he was interesting to be working with the same company, because he did work for the same publication I did, which I don't think a lot of people realize that. He was a part of Got Game at one point, I believe. Not just as a content creator, like Steve sent him, my boss, sent him to other events and stuff like that. But by the time, I guess, Chris got involved with that one, because I worked for 3 publications, Game Zone, Got Game, and I did freelance for whatever company I could get, you know, money from, ghostwriting and stuff like that. I might have even made some articles for IGN back in the day. I don't remember. It's very hazy. Because you have to remember that my wife has been kind of a gaming widow her entire marriage, because I've always, outside of YouTube, I've always worked hard. So it's like I used to be up really late at night writing, like game reviews or playing games and writing about them and sending in things for deadlines, things like that. I've always been a hard worker. When YouTube took off, it's just I worked even harder. So. If that makes sense. When YouTube happened, then I started to work even harder. But basically, back in the day, a company would send me a game before digital. Because digital wasn't a thing for... I think digital games started in 2010, 2011, maybe. Right around then. And usually indie games were the big digital games. Full like releases like today, like you wouldn't be able to download a game like this. If I was going to review NieR, let's say NieR came out in 2010. If it's a big third-party developer or AA game, they would email you or call you on the phone and ask for your address if you weren't in their system. And then they would send you what was known as a press copy. Now, the press copy was not yours to keep, which a lot of people don't understand this. Like, back in the day, 2004 through... I want to say they stopped doing this in 2012, 2011. The rise of content creators. But press, we used to get games sent to us about... they would send out the game, and you would get it for a review, probably like 3 days before the game came out. And sometimes they would overnight it, so if you were lucky, you got the game 4 days early. And you would have to, usually, you would get the game maybe Thursday, and then Monday... Since we were a smaller publication, the review had to be up by Monday. No ifs, ands, or buts. I got so good at writing and playing through the games that my boss at one of the companies I work for, Game Zone, they asked me to head up their walkthrough department. And I'd never done a walkthrough. Like, I told them that I'd written playthroughs for GameFAQs, which I did, but they wanted like really detailed like top 10 walkthroughs and stuff like that from Screw Attack, and I had to I got paid a little more, but I had no idea what I was doing. They demanded a boss rush mode walkthrough of oh, what was the name of that game? It was a God of War clone. Dante's Inferno. They wanted a boss guide to a game that I had just beat and wrote the review for them. And I wrote 2 reviews. I wrote a written review, and I wrote the script for the guy to do the voiceover for the video review. And my boss called me up and he says, "You did great work." And every once in a while I got to record the voiceover too, which was cool because I wanted to branch out from YouTube and other things. But he called me up and he was like, "Hey, I've been seeing this new trend on YouTube called Top 10s. And I was like, "Oh yeah, the Screw Attack thing." He says, "Yeah." He says, "Well, I want to start doing that." He says, "I'll give you $75 to get this to me by Friday." And he says, "You already beat the game anyway." I was like, "Yeah." He says, "Go through, record footage, you know, do the voiceover, and you know, I'm sending you over the branding stuff." And I'm like, "Okay." And he says, "Yeah, so you got 48 hours to do this, and expect good things." And I'm like, "What?" He says, "Yeah, because he says, I want this up." And he says, "After that," he says, "you do a good job." He says, "I'll give you the Final Fantasy 13 like thing and give you a bonus." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." At least I think it was Final Fantasy 13. I don't remember. But all I know is after the Dante's Inferno thing, which was a wreck, like it was a terrible boss guide that I got flayed alive under my real name, not my not the K-Wing alias, because I wasn't calling myself K-Wing. Like my boss wouldn't let me do that. Everything was Luke. So I did the video review, or the video guide, and I made so many mistakes because it was the first time ever doing it. And apparently there was a whole walkthrough, or not walkthrough, there was a forum where people had found like easier ways of cheesing the game than what I did. So my boss was, let's say he was less than favorable with me, but he didn't have anybody else who could do the style of editing that he liked or whatever. So he told me I had to do the Final Fantasy 13 thing, and I got the game a week early, and that game, working on that game was hell on earth. Like, I grew to hate Final Fantasy 13. I remember I was up for, it felt like 70 hours. Amber went to work, and when she came home, I was still playing, because I had to play the game all the way through. And then while I was playing the game, I had to take notes, because it was, back then they didn't give, press would get like little packets that would give you some kind of hints, but, you know, this was before that developers really were working with YouTubers making these in-depth walkthroughs. Like, and I'm not talking like, you know, play the game like Let's Play. I'm talking like, you had to you were the walkthrough. You were the person finding all the secrets and making, like, you know, secret location things or secret bosses and all this other stuff. It was your responsibility. And developers weren't really giving people games that early, like a month early, for these, you know, YouTubers to do this kind of stuff, because it didn't really work. You had a few people that were doing it, but not really. So it was the second game I had to work on like that. And my boss was so happy to get it early, because he got the script for me, and then he did his radio show, because he did video game reviews on the radio, which was a you know, revolutionary thing or whatever. And not really. I mean, the review wasn't even that long. It was like a minute and a half, because people's attention span on the radio wasn't very long. And then he had me do the video review. I got so swamped with things that I remember contacting a friend who was a fan, who had a very small YouTube channel, but he was looking to get some writing credits or whatever. So both companies I worked for at the same time demanded a Final Fantasy series of videos. They wanted a boss guide, a what do they call that? A summons guide, and they wanted 2 different reviews. And this is back when people didn't care that you were working like for multiple companies. So I was moonlighting for 2 different like rival companies. One was located in Florida and the other one was in California. Don't do this, by the way. You can't do this anymore. This was back then. But I got my friend to write the review for the Florida company, and then I did my voiceover and sent it in for them to edit, and then I did my review for the other company. Now the other company gets back to me and they're like, well, the review that you sent us for the Florida company, the editor didn't like the game, so you need to go through and you need to write a scathing review of Final Fantasy 13. And I didn't hate the game at that point. I thought the game was just kind of okay. It wasn't like the best Final Fantasy game ever made. But what made me start to detest the game is he didn't like the review that I had, already finished. And he wasn't even going to pay me extra to do it. So I had to go through and I had to redo the thing from scratch, and I had to come across as an angry video reviewer. Like, he wanted, like, an irate gamer or, like, a AVGN thing. Or RMake21 or whatever. He wanted, like, angry stuff because he said that got better clicks or whatever. So I had to go through and I had to, look at all his points because he was not a good gamer, my editor, or whatever. The guy in Florida was not really a gamer. He was a newspaper man. Or whatever. And at the same time, I was conflicted because I had just written a review that was a 7 out of 10 for the California company, which I agreed with. And then I had to write a review for basically start nitpicking stuff to give the game a 4 or 5, I believe it was. It was a pretty low score. And he enjoyed the attention that, our site got from the hate clicks back then. But I didn't like it because my voice was attached to it. And then somebody on some forum site put 2 and 2 together that I was working for both companies. And eventually I got fired from one because they said that, I was doing the same thing for another rival publication. So I got in trouble. And thankfully, I didn't get sued. But I didn't really learn that lesson because then it's like I had a third company I was working for that worked with Nintendo. So I was basically a reporter for 3 publications, and I got fired from one. I got fired from the Florida company. And the California company never found out about it, and that was my first big job. And then the Nintendo blog site that I worked for, that was kind of like an official Nintendo blog site. Since I was covering PlayStation games for the other site, they didn't care. But I told them up front. I was like, I'm doing this thing. And they're like, well, I mean, if you were doing this Nintendo thing. And the Nintendo site paid badly. But what the Nintendo site made up for was contacts. So I got amazing contacts. And eventually got to work with Nintendo directly, which really helped my YouTube channel. But I had a company I worked with that knew Nintendo, and then that's how I got my foot in the door. But the Nintendo company, the reason I didn't like them is because they had me doing all the stupid games that nobody wanted to cover at that site. So the Barbie games and the dress-up DS things, all the garbage girly games, kiddie games. I had to act like in the mindset of what a kid would feel like playing those games as an adult, and it was a horrible job, terrible pay, terrible hours, and the deadlines for that Nintendo site was way worse than anything I'd ever done. And I only think I stuck around with them until I got the contacts, and then I just dumped them cold turkey. But they made me work very long hours for little pay. And I had to play the crappiest games ever and do a spin that they were not terrible, because my editor was a lady, and she was like, remember that when you're looking at these games, try to remember that the people that are going to read this are between the ages of 8 and 14. And I'm like, right. So I'd use very small words, and I had to be optimistic for some of this stuff when the games were garbage. So it wasn't like I was lying, because we still gave it scores that were not favorable, but I had to be like Mr. Rogers in my writing. And it was Amber told me several times to quit. And this is back when I was working on YouTube at the same time. Because my YouTube channel took off by the year of 2007. 2007, 2008, and I was still writing game reviews for 3 publications until I lost the one. Plus I was the video editor for that one publication, and a reporter, field reporter. So I was doing tons of stuff. Which I'm kind of amazed that I didn't die, personally, because there was a lot of working that happened back then. Zelda, you're gonna have to go in the basement if you keep this up, honey, because if you jump on the laptop, you're gonna kill my game. Oh yeah, and I'm totally lost in this game, by the way. This game looks fun. It is fun. I get lost easily because the environments are massive. I'm supposed to find robots or something like that, kill robots, explore stuff. You know. If I go the right way, a cutscene triggers, I believe. I think. Or I went to a completely different area. I don't know. What 14-year-old girl would play a Barbie game? I don't know. But you have to remember that that Nintendo site, which is no longer around, there were so many weird games back then. The DS and the Wii would pump out a lot of weird games. I did a written review for Gingerbread Man. There was all these weird games. The reason why I got to know the Wii's library so much is because I had to do a write-up for almost every new game that came out for that Nintendo site. Because they only had, there was the full-time person, the editor, and then they had three freelancers. And I was one of the paid freelancers, but the pay was garbage, and the hours were garbage. But I was remote, so I didn't, I think that's the word. I wasn't in their offices, and they were located in Utah, I believe. Either Utah or Seattle, I don't remember. They had a very small staff. California company had a staff of 35 people, and the Florida company had a staff of 25, 28. I think that the Florida company is still around. I don't remember, because my editor, that was a really nice guy, who didn't want to fire me, because we became friends, he went on into the game industry, and he's actually a contact of mine. Like, he works, either he's in mobile gaming now, or he does, I think he works for Square Enix. I don't remember. But this is why I said the gaming industry is, like, it's such a, like, tight-knit group of people. Like, every 4 to 5 years, one of your contacts is going to change jobs. Or job titles. Or companies. You never know where they're going. You might, for 3 years, you might have had a guy you knew, or a girl, who worked at Sega, and then all of a sudden, like, not long after that, you're going to get an email or a phone call from them, or a text saying, hey, just heads up, today's my last day here at Sega, and I'm going to Namco. And this person here will be your new contact, or something like that. And it was like, oh, okay. That happens a lot. There are some people that stay at companies for a long time, like Krista at Nintendo was there for so long. And eventually she, you know, she retired. Or not retired, she left because the company was moving. They were moving their offices, and I believe what happened was there was a thing where people were given heads up, you know, we're relocating, and you can either come with us and keep your job, or, you know, that's it, because we're not going to be doing this stuff anymore. So, and sometimes that happens. Your job will be done, and then that's it. Either you move with the job or whatever. And it's not like there's any hard feelings or anything like that. That's just what it is. That's why I was always very lucky that the technology existed at a time where I could literally send my editor my reviews through email, and then upload through a, if I did the videos, upload through a Dropbox, which those Dropboxes took a very long time. But the quality that we were uploading back in the day was only 480i and just barely 720p sometimes. So, I mean, but if I was, I mean, even today, I think it would probably not take as long. But back then, we had DSL internet. So, DSL internet was kind of, pretty slow. I'm lost, but I'm beating up monsters. This is where the first area is, isn't it? Akira, is there fast travel, man? Because I got lost, I think. I went back to the first area of the game, which you can go back to, but I don't think I'm supposed to be here. Yeah, Nintendo recently relocated. I don't know where they are, but a lot of people didn't move with them, so. I remember when Nintendo actually had their offices in New York City, though. And then they moved to Seattle. But I wasn't, I don't think I was a game journalist when they still had their offices in New York. I don't remember. I don't know where I'm going. Oh no! We're supposed to be in the green area, I thought. I don't even know how I ended up over here. Fought a bunch of monsters, and then one thing led to another, and boom, here I am. Cammy knows better. Is she still awake? Because I totes lost. I know I am, because this is the first area of the game. I mean, there's new monsters and stuff you can fight, but this isn't going to progress the story. One thing I will say about NieR's map system, I was never good at reading it. Like, the map always confused me. It's just it's a box. And then you got to try to get that orange square thing to match up or something. I don't even know how the heck I got over here in the first place. If Cammy's not awake, anybody else remember this game? Like where I'm supposed to go in the second area? I thought I'm supposed to stay in the green. I think this is correct. I need to go where those orange things are. I think. I already got the thing there. Blah. Well, at least it's a pretty game to look at, even though I'm lost. But anyway, get back to Christmas-related stuff. So, my first year of marriage was a really good Christmas. It was very sweet. Amber was adorable. It was like, oh my gosh, I'm a married man now. And, you know, it was a nice little thing. And then, our first Christmas with the K-Wings was very special. That was in New York. But I think our first Christmas with the K-Wings was a sad Christmas. But I don't remember. I'm pretty sure we were up. I can't remember if it was my first. If it was our first Christmas with the K-Wings that my grandma died. My dad's mom. And we were there for the funeral, and we were going to miss Christmas or something like that, because she died before Christmas. I can't remember. I'd have to look at our Christmas with the K-Wings playlist. I thought she died... Because my grandfather died in 2018. My grandmother died in... let's see, YouTube, Christmas with the K-Wings. Christmas... with... the... Christmas with the K-Wings. Did she die in 2013? Was the first one. You can tell by the pictures. We didn't do 2017, 2018. 2018, my grandfather died. And I was too devastated to have Christmas. We skipped Christmas twice for financial reasons. 2017, 2018, we didn't have Christmas. I want to say it was 2013 was our first one. Amber made my Christmas special because I'm pretty sure Grandma died in 2013. Because... yeah, it was either... yeah, I'm pretty sure it was then. Because we did... because we had a Christmas at my grandparents' house, because we were up there. I think that's what it was, but I don't think you guys ever knew. I don't know. But Amber, we were gonna miss Christmas, and then she was like, well, why don't we... your grandparents always filmed Christmas, why don't we film our Christmas? And then I had the idea of actually putting it online, because the reason why Amber was acting the way she was is because it wasn't supposed to be a vlog. That's why I caught her unaware. It was a family video. It was our Christmas together, and it was a family thing, and then it became a vlog series. So I was kind of sneaky, and you know, because we hadn't made content for a while. Because I was pretty I think I was pretty broken up. My manager, because we had a channel manager, they wanted us to make content so the channel wouldn't drop in views and income for the holidays, because they were reminding us it was the holidays, but we were telling them, well, you know, we just suffered a death in the family, and the channel manager wasn't the nicest guy. It wasn't Travis, it was somebody else. I don't remember his name. I don't tend to remember people that I don't like after a while. And they were pretty mad at us for not making any content. So we had to release like one or at least 1 or 2 videos a week while we were away. And it was more devastating for Amber than it was me, because it's like I was closer to my mom's parents than my dad's parents. But my grandma on my dad's side, like, she was a sweet old lady. She was a sweet grandma. Very quiet, but she really liked Amber a lot. So Amber was the one who decided to cheer me up, because we didn't actually do any Christmas shopping in Boston. So we went to the local mall in Peekskill, New York. I don't know why they brought me back here, but I'm back at the resistance camp again. Was I supposed to be back? Okay. I came all the way back here. Weapon dealer quest accepted. Now, wasn't there like 1 or 2 ways out of the camp itself? I swear there was like some type of monster or something you fought. I don't remember. Transport takes you to the bunker. I'm just gonna run around. But anyway, back to my story. So Amber, even though Amber was kind of distraught about stuff, we went to the local mall and we got each other Christmas presents because we went up to stay with my grandparents like a few days before the memorial service because my grandma was being flown from the remains were being flown from Florida to back to Peekskill because both my grandparents, you know, lived in that same town or city or whatever. But Amber cheered me up and we went to the mall and we had fun wrapping some presents, and my family wasn't going to have Christmas. So Amber and I had our own little Christmas, and then my grandparents had regular Christmas, but my dad and, you know, the family on the other side wasn't really going to do anything because, you know, Grandma was gone and nobody really felt like doing anything. So then, I asked Amber if I could film the vlog, but I didn't tell her it was a vlog because I didn't have any idea. And it was kind of a revolutionary thing because people weren't really... there were people who were posting vlogs and stuff, but nobody was posting their entire Christmas. They were showing clips of their Christmas. So I posted our entire Christmas on the internet. Like, that was our private Christmas. And that's what people found so magical about. But the problem with that was, as time went on with that thing, it became less of a personal memory and more like a vlog, like a YouTube thing. To the point where both of us just didn't like doing it that much. And by the time 2017 rolled around, 2016, Amber's parents said some pretty nasty stuff about the 2016 Christmas that we did. They didn't call it a real Christmas or something. And it really hurt Amber's feelings. And my mom said some pretty nasty stuff, too, about those Christmas vlogs. So we just, I don't know. We didn't feel like doing it. And based on that, I don't believe we even had Christmas those 2 years. And then in 2019, we just kind of decided to have Christmas again, and Amber gave me permission to film it, and I filmed it, and we made a little vlog, and we tried to put it on Patreon or something. We did something weird. Can I kill you? No? Okay. But yeah, I mean, it just... Sometimes when you do this, like, private affair stuff, like, vlogs can kind of mess couples up. There have been a lot of YouTube couples that have eventually called it quits because, like, their life was in front of the camera so much. That's why I'm kind of glad we don't do face cam a lot, is because for a lot of you guys, it's just kind of a disembodied voice, you know? It's not as personal as, like, literally seeing the person's face and stuff. And I don't really like doing the face cam stuff if I can avoid it. I might look into the whole VTuber thing just because I think it'd be kind of funny. Maybe it would spark some personality back in our stuff and we could be zany again without, like, fear of certain things. I'm not sure. But Amber and I personally have known at least... I'd say 4 or 5 vloggers that ended up breaking up. Some of them that were married and had kids. Because the vlogs became, like, too evasive, I believe is what they said. Like, literally, their whole life was on camera. I remember one couple, they were new to the whole vlogging thing. They didn't last long. The wife got really mad at the husband because he filmed the birth of the baby.
This is the place that weapons trader was talking about. Uh-oh. I'm picking up hostile machine life forms.
And out of respect for the couple, I'm not going to say who they were, because they've been off YouTube now for 12 years. Something like that. Maybe longer, I don't know. I don't remember. But they had their first child together. And after, I think it was like 3 months of them, you know, having the baby, the wife just got sick of it, and they broke up because they had a huge fight. And Amber especially wanted to make sure that... I think she made me sign something that said I couldn't do certain things on camera. Like, I could do recaps of certain things, but I would never, ever be able to show the birth of our child. Or anything like that. And she didn't want... I believe Amber said she didn't want the kids' faces to ever be shown if we had kids. So I, you know, based on stuff I agreed to it, I was like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. Because, you know, they wouldn't have really a private life. But of course, you guys know how the kid's story ended up. When we found out years later, and we stopped doing the vlogs, we actually were going to do Christmas with the K-Wings in 2018, I believe. And then 2017. No, it was 2018. We were going to do it, and then my grandfather was very sick, and we couldn't fly out or go to where he was. And there was tense stuff between my family and us. There's a lot of tension that happens to YouTubers and their families sometimes. It can be out of jealousy, it can be out of, you know, you can't visit them because you're working all the time. This type of entertainment job can create a lot of distance between anybody but your immediate family. And my immediate family is Amber and I guess my cats. And I call family members when I can. Attend weddings when I can. Things like that. It's a very cutthroat industry, and it's a very demanding industry. Nowadays, like back then, probably I could have taken a vacation 2017, 2018, 2019. Things weren't as bad. Now it's like, if I'm not around for certain hours, things are really bad with the Let's Play channel, to the point where I always have to be working. I've sent Amber to Illinois several times to see her family and spend like almost a week there or whatever, and I've tried to hold the channel together when she's away, and our numbers dip dramatically when she's not around. But the only reason that's such a problem is because when we were hacked, the channel got shadow banned, and all our older content, which some people who were hacked recently are starting to learn that the only reason your channel is doing so well is because you have like a vast library of content. And when your vast library of content is ripped out of the search engine, you have to rely on new video views, and you know, after a while that gets pretty tiresome. But your old content's gone forever. People can watch it, but you're not going to make money on it ever again. So, you know, because of that, I haven't had a vacation in a long time. I don't even sleep very much. Which is kind of why I get angry sometimes on the air. Is because, like, literally, my entire... the hours that I'm live. Like, my entire life is, like, open to people, kind of. Depending on the game, I can focus on the game, but some of my Twitch streams get really weird because of how late it is, and my mind is kind of, like, getting into the, you know, you've got a couple hours left of work, and then you could sleep for, like, 3 hours, and then you got to get up and do the YouTube short, write the newsletter, do whatever chores you missed in the house, and, you know, if I'm writing lore videos, when I usually write, like, the Robin lore that I've been working on, I tend to write that between the hours of 3:30 in the morning until 5, sometimes. But I've been kind of lacking on that because Gotham Knights has not really been the type of game that I thought it was going to be that would hype me up to want to record it. I was expecting bigger things that happened, and it's just like, I have these audio things done for, like, different Robin. Each lore video covers four comics that was like an arc or something like that for Tim Drake from the 93 Robin run. But it's like going through and wanting to record the gameplay for that doesn't interest me at all. I've thought about trying to mod Arkham Knight so I can play as Tim Drake in the, you know, 90s Robin skin, but it's like, even then, it's just kind of like, Gotham Knights kind of suck the fun out of Batman content that isn't news related. I just don't feel like doing it. That's how bad Gotham Knights is. It crushed my soul for some Batman content, which is why the Robin lore still hasn't been posted, as we're well past October and almost at the end of December. I just don't feel like it. I creatively, I just don't have any creativity for it. It's like, I read the lines, and it felt like the magic of the lore videos before is there was humor and there was just a lot of, like, you know, excitement talking about these Batman stories. But even when I was recording them, when I only have time to record, the audio is not some of my best work, especially for lore stuff that I haven't done in 5 years. Something like that. It doesn't have that same magic anymore. Because I don't have the magic anymore for it. It's not burnout, but it's like, creative-wise, I'm just kind of so overworked. By the time I get over to this channel, I'm just kind of like, you know, which maybe people have seen from my news videos, because I record my news videos very early in the morning. Which, I erase some comments I don't show you guys, because I have some people say some pretty nasty things on this channel for my news videos. And it just makes me not want to do news very often, because they complain about my audio, they complain about my attitude when doing them. And I'm just like, do you have any idea what time of night I'm recording this stuff? Because I work from 5:30 in the afternoon with Amber until close to 1 a.m. And then, if I have a stream I need to do over here, then I end up streaming over here till about 3 a.m. Close to it. Or a little past it. And then, I have other stuff to do, which is the short, or if I'm going to write a lore video or something like that. It's just so much work, and it's just me. So, that's why I'm very thankful that Amber does morning and afternoon streams, because even with me pushing myself to the brink that I do, I can't keep the channel going without her. Like, if she was not streaming at certain peak hours in the afternoon or whatever, our channel would drop down to 0 views an hour. That's what happens when you're shadow banned. The only way you can trick YouTube's algorithm, if anybody other, you know, has like 11,000 videos or whatever, the only way you can trick the algorithm that we found is if your channel is active and live streaming. As soon as you turn off live streaming, I'll give you an example right now. Let's Play channel right now is supposed to be collectively doing about like 1,000 views an hour, maybe 2,000 views an hour, right? I've been done live streaming on the Let's Play channel since 1 this morning. It is 2:45 a.m. It says the last views in 60 minutes on the Let's Play channel with 11,000 videos is 250 views in the past 60 minutes on the Let's Play channel. And that will stay like that until probably 7 or 8 in the morning, and it'll go up to close to 1,000. Like, the hacking basically killed the channel. Like, if Amber and I both didn't work on it, it wouldn't work, because we're basically loopholing YouTube to trick its algorithm so that when we're live, they basically, you get kind of perks for live streaming that people don't know. When you're live streaming, you send a signal to the YouTube search engine, and your live stream is picked up, and people come off the internet and they see you on Google's search engine and YouTube's search engine, optimized, whatever, for about the entire length of your live stream, and then about 30 to 40 minutes after your live stream, which is why we have a 20 to 30 minute or 40 minute break, is because that video is still circulating views around that time. And then we start the next live stream right around when that video dies off, because whatever views you don't get during the stream, that's it. You know, like, it's if we were able to reach our subscribers through a notification system, it'd be a lot easier, but that doesn't work. Last we saw, it was 0.3% of 500,000 people are notified of our videos on the Let's Play channel, and out of those notifications, YouTube will alert one live stream, one YouTube short, and maybe one upload. Although that can vary. Sometimes they only do one video a day out of the 4 streams we do, and one short. So there are times where Amber has cried because she's seen that the notification system says for a live stream 0 and a YouTube short 50. And it's like, YouTube really doesn't care that it's literally killing its creators, but Amber and I are fighters, so we keep going. We found loopholes and we found ways of going, but, you know, the times that we're not live streaming, which is right now, if I was live streaming on the Let's Play channel right now, it would probably be around 500 or maybe 700 views an hour, which is still terrible, but, you know, it is wicked late at night. It makes sense, but the channel is supposed to work. The whole point of a YouTube channel is you're supposed to earn an income while you're not doing anything. You upload your videos and that's it. That's how we did it for 10 years. And ever since, now it's like we kind of have to babysit our channel like every day. 12, 13 hours a day, if not longer. Which is why we're so thankful for the Ultimates, and why we bend over backwards, because we're not going to do this kind of stuff for other subscribers. Like, we don't do requests of streams and things like that, because literally we have people like Akira and Mandracos and stuff like that that are financially supporting the channel like it's PBS. And because of that, we're able to, you know, I wouldn't say limp around, but we're able to still be here and stuff like that. If we were to lose a majority of our Ultimates, we would be in financial jeopardy. Like, that's how bad it is. So that's why you see so many Ultimate streams, is because we have so many people that are supporting our work, which is, it kind of feels like we're musicians. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of musicians are sponsored by people and fans and stuff like that. So it helps things with that. There are people that literally reach out to these artists or whatever. I don't know what this is. Close range. Can I open this? That's probably for something another time. But yeah, there's good days and bad days. I got a lot of sleep today for Akira's stream because, like, the short, YouTube wasn't messing with our notification system today. And for the first time in 2 years, we had 2,000 notifications sent out for one video, which was amazing. That's like, I don't know what percentage that would be for our subscriber base. Maybe 1%, maybe 1.5% or something like that of our subscribers actually got notified of the video. And then it, for a brief, like, 30 minutes, it was in trending for the YouTube short search engine. And I saw the views, and I felt really happy for a second, because I'd never seen a short of ours pop that quickly, but once it popped like that, YouTube kind of saw what was going on, and you can, if I posted the data, if I was allowed to, which I'm not, because you can get, YouTube doesn't like when you do that. For 30 minutes to an hour, you can see that the views shot up to 4,000. And then immediately after, they put us right back down to 1,000 views an hour. It was like that one peak thing, boom, it worked, and then back down to what they regulate us as, like what they allow, like 1,000 views an hour. And we used to, what's funny is like 4,000 views an hour is what we did before the hacking. Which I had a crazy theory that I don't care, I'm going to share with you guys because no one's going to watch this anyway, but I really believe that YouTube is the one responsible for hacking channels. Based on how often I see it happen and how it cripples YouTube channels. Like, I really believe that they have a shadow department that is responsible for taking these channels down, ripping them out of the search engine, and because this happens, and YouTube is so stretched thin with paying partners, when the channel is recovered after a few days, quote-unquote, that YouTuber never makes the same income again. Like, I know this is, like, completely out of left field, and it makes me sound like a crazy conspiracy person, but I believe that there is, based on the type of crimes that happens with these channels and how quickly YouTube is able to quote-unquote restore them, and how, like, the YouTuber doesn't make as much money as they were making. Like, you could have a YouTuber who was making $10,000 a month prior to their hacking, and then afterwards they're only making about $4,000 to $3,000 without their memberships. That means YouTube, you know, doesn't have to worry about paying them what they paid them before, because their channel doesn't make that anymore. You know, it's almost like that YouTuber starting over again. And the fact that they're able to get back like 90% of these channels, and also, you know, both the hackers and YouTube don't tend to go after channels on the weekends. They only do it during the week. So if your channel's hacked, like, usually most channels get hacked on Thursday to Friday, and then they get restored by Monday. But they're never the same. Because during the hacking, your channel's notification system can get wrecked. And, like, YouTube has found so many ways of removing partners and stuff like that, based on the type of scam that this is. And think about it this way, too. YouTubers, like, try to find income that is outside of YouTube. Like, especially when things are rough, we do brand deals. Is what we do. And the severity of these scams are targeted for people that are trying to find brand deals, trying to find additional income to, you know, keep their channel running on the less than ad revenue months. And this scam is not happening to Twitch streamers or Facebook gaming. It's only on YouTube. Only YouTubers are losing their channel. Facebook gaming people are not losing their stuff that I know of. And I know a lot of Facebook gaming partners because I used to be one. So I got to know some people. Only YouTubers are the ones impacted by this. And so many YouTubers keep having this happen to them. And I'm sorry, but we're not that dumb. Like, you know. And these hackers masquerade themselves as Raid Shadow Legends and like HelloFresh and Get Help or BetterHelp, like all these brands that a lot of YouTubers continue to work with on a daily basis. So they're tricking people. And then lo and behold, your channel comes back, but it doesn't really come back because your income is basically, it's like you were given a pay cut by YouTube, you know? Like I said, I know it sounds crazy, but, like, if I had time and, like, the mental prowess to really dig deep into this, I bet you I could blow the lid off of this thing. because there's been hundreds and hundreds of YouTubers that are impacted, especially during the holidays. Like, my friend Abdallah just got hit right during the holidays, and he was trying to do a, I forget what brand deal he was trying to do. I don't remember. But the same thing happened. Was looking for a brand deal. The bot came in, wrecked the channel. He lost his channel for 4 days. You know, his videos were plucked from the search engine, replaced by other YouTubers. And, you know, it's going to be a long climb for him to get back to where he was. He was averaging, I think, 400,000 to 500,000 views a day. And from what I've seen now, he's averaging about 80,000 to 90,000 views a day. And he has just as many video views as we do. Like, he's got, like, at least 9,000 or 10,000 videos. We have close to 12,000 videos, I believe. And our hourly is nowhere near what it should be. Like, I literally created that channel so I wouldn't have to work as hard, and I have to work harder than ever. This channel's never been hacked, but if it's not a Batman video, nobody cares. Like, I'm just being completely honest. No one cares. I'm playing this game, no one cares. If it's not Batman, it's not Batman news related. If it doesn't have, like, a really catchy title, no one watches. And I have tested that. I've done Batman news videos on this channel without doing, like, breaking news in the title or the description. Nobody watches. Like, I've literally been heartbroken to see, like, if I don't do the clickbaity stuff, even my own audience isn't interested in seeing what I have to say. And it kind of, it's sad in a way, because it's like I honestly don't want to do the breaking news, because when I get to the news story, it's not really breaking news anymore. But it's like, if I don't do that, then the algorithm buries my video. And it just, like, sends my audience to over my competitor or something like that. It's not like people are watching content creators that they like anymore. They're watching news that they can get first, or things that are, you know, interesting or whatever. And it's not necessarily you're going to the person to watch news because of, like, who they are as a person. Like, they can easily be replaced by somebody else. And it happens all the time. That's why, like, so many people are able to succeed at the comic book news thing right now, is because people are looking for consistency, and they're looking to see who breaks the story first. That's why there's like a drop in viewership for certain, like, comic book clickbait channels, because sometimes somebody, like, gets to it before them, and then that channel, who has less subscribers, they were able to break the news or scoop faster, and then they get more views than the person who regularly uploads at the same time talking about different news stories. You're back from vacation? Hey, Leroy. Yeah, but sorry for going kind of all over the place, Kira. I know it's your birthday. I just, like I said, the final stream of the night, I'm kind of like somewhat coherent, but all the things in my mind that I am constantly burying during peak hours just kind of surface. And I already, Amber believes me too about what I said about that. I think that there's kind of like a Black Ops team at YouTube that's responsible for destroying channels and then quote-unquote fixing them. And I was telling Amber, I'm surprised that YouTube doesn't have a service where they destroy your channel and then they charge you to get it back. As crazy as that sounds. I don't know. But yeah, if people are wondering, like, what does it feel like to have this kind of stuff happen to you? Like, what's the end result? You're looking at the end result. You kind of go crazy. And the crazy music, the soft, like, music in this, it doesn't help. But I still like this. I'm glad. I'm glad you enjoy everything I do. I like variety. I'm a gamer. I got into game journalism because I love video games. Video games was my as stupid as it sounds. In the 80s and 90s, it was kind of like a friend because I didn't have a lot of friends. I grew up on the poverty side, so kids didn't like to hang out with people that, you know, didn't have the same stuff as they did growing up. And gamers were a ostracized group. You might, out of like a class of, we'll say 50 kids, maybe 3 of them were gamers. One of them was probably pretty open about being a gamer, and the other 2 were closet gamers. Like you knew they were gamers because you would see them pop up at the arcade, or you would, you might see them at Babbage's or something like that, and be, oh hey man, what game are you playing? But then at school, they're just like everybody else, where they're making fun of the gamer, and then, you know, later they're just kind of like, well, you know, I gotta save face, man. You know, it's like, well, yeah, but it's just kind of like, with my ADD and stuff, I was very out there about the things I liked.
Jamming caused by enemies in local vicinity.
So I never hid who I was or the things I liked. Even in high school, I had a Batman. I had Batman folders for my, you know, my classes, and I had Dragon Ball Z stuff, and pins on my book bag and stuff. I loved anime, and I loved video games, and I loved superheroes. And even though that wasn't something that you would see kids and teenagers doing in the like 99 through the early 2000s, I did. I even had a Skeletor sticker on my car. Just because, you know, I really like that stuff, because for me, that stuff was good memories. And I had I had a whole head full of bad memories from school, and you know, I had to have things that replaced it. Like I had people call me the R word all the time when I was growing up in school because of my ADD. I wasn't able to learn as fast, and I also had a speech impediment that I had to grow out of. When I'm really tired, it comes back because I have to really, you know, I speak very clear and have a good diction and stuff like that. But I had a speech impediment. I was ADD, and you know, I had some dyslexia, and I got brutalized in school. So video games was my escape. Batman the Animated Series was my escape. Superheroes, comic books, and that stuff, it felt like it kind of like was the only really good thing I had in my life. So I was never going to do anything to kind of get away from that stuff. Even if it meant like basically being like, you know, bearing my cross at school all the time, so to speak. It was something that I just couldn't turn off. And college was a lot better, sort of. I would go to LAN parties and things like that. And literal LAN parties involved taking your computer, your PC, your monitor, very heavy monitor, putting it in a box, hopping in a truck with your buddies, and then going to someone else's dorm and setting up all these computers one at a time. And it would be so wicked hot, you would have to, like, we would take the doors off the dorm in the wintertime. And it was super fun. And, you know, you got to meet other like-minded gamers and stuff like that. But, yeah, it was a weird time. So, for me, when gaming became more accessible, and I was a game journalist, it's like I saw a huge paradigm shift, you know? Which still, I don't know if I'm completely used to, like, how big gaming became, and how, like, there are so many different types of gamers. There's hardcore gamers, casual, There's people that only play like niched games, people that only play sports games, anime, fighting games. You know, there weren't communities back then. So I mean, it was really cool to see video games flourish the way they have. But it wasn't like that. And you know, so the reason why I think I'm so invested in my career as a YouTuber is because I've always liked games, and I always will. Like, I can see myself when I'm in my 50s or 60s still playing games and loving them. I don't know if I'll still be doing the YouTube thing. I don't know how many years I'm going to last doing it. Because I'm going on... I've been married for 16 or 17 years now. So I've been a YouTuber for 15 of those, maybe longer. I got married in 06. I started hardcore on my YouTube channel in 2007, 2008. So I eventually, I don't want to say I'm going to let the Let's Play channel die, but I can't. I'm coming to the realization that I physically can't maintain it the ways that I have been. And you're starting to see some of that now, where before I was consistently uploading YouTube shorts every day at 7 in the morning, which means I would get up at like 6 o'clock and I would work on the short for an hour or whatever and get everything ready for, you know, when people are starting to go to school or work or something, so they can watch the YouTube short. And now, the past like 2 months, I've been getting kind of lax on that because I just don't have the energy. I'm like, my body is making me sleep in more. I'm sleeping past my alarm. And, you know. And if YouTube changed how streaming views are in August, my fear is when the algorithm changes every 3 months. And the algorithm wrecked YouTube live stream, right? At sometime in August, where no longer 60 people watching a stream would equal 1,000 views after a half hour. And then by, I think it was September, the end of September, like even 50 people watching for like 2 hours wouldn't even equal 1,000 views. Like right now, we've had anywhere between 40 to 50 people watching the stream. It's at 400 views after almost 2 hours, which means if it wasn't for that super chat, no, you know, this stream wouldn't make anything. But Akira already paid for this stream, which is why we said we're indebted, or not indebted. We're very thankful for our ultimates, because they basically support financially. When several videos don't do well, you know, we're covered by them to some extent. You know what I mean? Because they're paying for their stream, but in reality they're also sponsoring probably almost a week's worth of content, almost, you know, or at least like 48 hours to 72 hours worth of videos that they're sponsored, which some of them know. So those 20 to 16 people are very, very important. That's why that one day Amber was going off on an ultimate, I was freaking out, because like I told her that, you know, we kind of can't have these people just, you know, bail and stuff like that, because we can't. There's a reality that I don't think she's really prepared herself for yet, because she thinks that she has a different mindset than me. I'm very. I try to appease the ultimates as best as humanly possible. Like, you know, to to meet the requirements and push myself to do things, whereas, you know, Amber gets mad. She doesn't care how much somebody donates something. She will, you know, go all Red Lantern, and I am very, I wouldn't say chill on it, but I'm not as, depending on the type of response that they had or whatever, or the trolling or the jokes or whatever, I don't react the same way that she does, because she is the kind of person that she would rather be dead in a ditch than say thank you to someone who's mean to her or something like that. And I don't share that same thing. Like, you know, I view it as, like, some days an ultimate or top donator might be having a bad day, and it's like to ban them from the channels to basically sign the death warrant of your channel. Because if you yell at the people that donate to you, it sends a bad look, and then people make Reddit things about you, and then people say terrible things about social media, that you're not grateful for people, and it just turns into this big tsunami. Like, one ripple can turn into a whole splash very quickly. So when Amber did that and I came down and yelled at her and her stream cut out, you know, that was not a good day for me, because I don't like to get on Amber's case about stuff. But I was also waking up, so I was not completely there. Like, I had people DMing me and telling me, like, members were being banned, and I went off. So it was not a good day for me. And I don't even remember how long ago that was. I think that was like almost a month ago now. Oh yeah, I mean, I get. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Yeah, the algorithm. It feels like they're trying, like, you know how the U.S. government, like, prints money it doesn't have? And this is just me speaking honestly. Like, based on all the problems that YouTube has, it feels like they have more content creators around that they can afford to keep. And with the hacking and the, you know, demonetizing channels randomly, it feels like they're trying to limit a person's ability to have the type of growth and financial, you know, big boom that a lot of us, even people without millions of subscribers, enjoyed for years. And it's not like that anymore. It hasn't been like that for years. Only the big dogs, the guys with like millions of subscribers, are still, you know, hitting those big numbers. But even them, I know some people who work for them, their editors and stuff like that, and they said that their editors have been getting pay cuts because, like, these bigger YouTubers aren't making they're still making good, what you and I would consider amazing income, but it's like slashed in half every year. Or it instead of it, like, you know how at a job you get a raise the more you work and stuff, you know, as a contractor, that doesn't always happen. Like, you don't, it's all dependent on so many things. That's basically what YouTubers are. YouTubers don't get benefits. YouTubers don't get anything. You're a contractor. Like, you don't work for Google. You work with Google as a paid contractor, and they pay you based on what your ad revenue is. And since the ad revenue is bad, like, they pay you less and less every year. Like, every year we make less. We have, like, some good months, and we're, you know, we have a roof over our head, and we pay our bills and stuff like that. But YouTube eventually is just gonna implode, because the people that they have working at these companies are idiots. There are some talented people that work for them. Like, our channel manager is actually a really nice guy and very smart, but he's in a position that's not of authority. You have idiots that are working for YouTube right now that don't even know how to do ad sales, which is basically something Elon Musk excels at, because he was able to get advertisers to come back to Twitter when those advertisers have been gone off Twitter for years, and now advertisements are coming back and revenue is flowing into Twitter like crazy. That's all thanks to Elon Musk and his antics. YouTube, according to intel I have, hasn't really been doing ad sales since like 2017. So they have like a certain group that they're working with, like an advertiser, and every year, like, instead of picking up new advertisers, like really big clients, they're getting less and less of that client list. And some of these other people are going, like, there's so many streaming services now that do ads, and the only way you can get past that is if you have like a certain type of account with the streaming company. Like, you have to pay more now for some streaming services that, you know, stream anime or movies or whatever, so you don't get ads anymore. And a lot of those people that used to work for YouTube, like Walmart and Target and the big advertisers, especially during the holidays, they've gone to these streaming services, and even free streaming services. Like, they're putting ads and stuff over there. They don't work with YouTube anymore. And that then you're left with like companies like Raid Shadow Legends, which is pretty small in comparison compared to like Walmart or you know, these bigger companies that are gone. And then they don't have good CPMs anymore, because you don't, you know, it would be nice if Mr. Beast could do a video where he would like run YouTube for a day or something, because I think the guy is very intelligent and he would probably figure out how to do something, but it would be a big gamble for him to do anything other than what he's doing, because he spends an enormous amount of money in order to make money. So, you know, there's just I've been at the same job now for over 15 years, I think, and I've seen it blossom, and then I've seen it fall apart. So, and I don't think it's done yet, but I really wish that a lot of these hacking things would stop, and I really hope I'm wrong and they're not coming from YouTube themselves, because like I said, the way the attacks happen, the restoring of the channels, the fact that the hacking only really happens during the week, which is, YouTube only works Monday through Friday. Google only works Monday through Friday. They have emergency teams like to handle the, what do you call it? It's like a grid, or like the what do they call that? Infrastructure of the platform, like, you know, tech related stuff, but like helping with like important things like restoring channels or asking them questions or whatever. They're not on call for the end of Friday until like very early Monday morning is when they come back. And even technically, speaking from personal experience and how many years I've been working with them, even if you have a big problem and you need a response by Monday, they'll get back to you on Tuesday. So technically it feels like they only work Tuesday through Friday. I think Monday is the day that they evaluate what emails are priority and what aren't. And then, you know, Tuesday throughout the week, they start getting back to people, like content creators. Unless you're, you know, really good in with them. So, like I said, the fact that the hacking for these channels takes place not during the weekend makes me really believe that this is some type of you know, company that's working with YouTube, and it's a way to diminish the workforce in a way, and how much they're paying out, because ad sales are less and less every year. with a company, things are supposed to grow and flourish, and YouTube doesn't flourish anymore. Like, I've seen so many content creators that I used to go to events with for Skylanders and Disney and Batman and Injustice and all this other stuff. Like, so many of them are done.
Alert. Machine life forms detected.
They're gone.
Confirmed to be high energy and equipped with dangerous weaponry.
And then they made YouTube videos before they went saying, like, it's important to make sure that you have something to fall back on, or that you never give up your day job. You know. So it's, yeah, it's a very, very crazy thing that I don't really wish this career on anybody. But I mean, I'm making it. The world wants me to give up, and I'm not ready to give up yet. I'm gonna keep pushing myself until I can't push anymore. It's just how I roll. But unfortunately, the thing that I'm worried about, like I've been telling you guys, I don't have the energy anymore. And you know, eventually it's just like, I'm gonna end up sleeping longer than I have, and I'm gonna be droggier than I am, or I'm gonna be angrier than I am sometimes, because I just don't have, I don't think I have the mental control to, not necessarily saying that I'm wearing a mask, but I've always tried to keep myself very professional, you know, during like normal business hours, like 5 through midnight or whatever. But my Twitch streams and my O1 channel streams, it's like, I just don't have the energy to not keep it real, I guess, or you know what I mean. I think that's what that means. But I will say this, like most of the guys in the journalist field who started as, you know, reporters in their 20s, by the time they're in their late 30s to early 40s, they're running the department that they joined. You know, they're not only are they better or more efficient at their job, but they don't have to put up with a lot of stuff that they had to go through when they were a reporter. And with YouTube, it feels like a lot of us are still, like, we've been reporters or pizza delivery men for 15 years with no room for advancement, or they don't even care. And they used to care. YouTube used to be a place where the U in YouTube meant something, and it doesn't anymore. Because if it did, they would try to take care of their content creators, and they don't want to. That's why the day that lady in office who's running YouTube into the ground leaves, and they can get somebody intelligent, I think that YouTube could bounce back. Because it's not beyond saving. It really isn't. It's not hard. You need to put money into the business in order to make money, and they're just not doing that. They're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. They tried to silence PewDiePie. PewDiePie is the reason that gamers made an amazing income for so many years. Like, they've pretty much done everything they can to wreck PewDiePie's monetization, and that has. It was like I was telling you before, how there were ripples in the water and then they became splashes. So everybody's who's a gamer, our CPMs were tied to the success of bigger gamers on YouTube. And then when YouTube went to start demonetizing and hurting bigger channels, then that would affect the smaller channels and the middle channels. And it wouldn't completely finish you, but you would notice that, you know, this time of year I usually did this well, and I'm doing about 25% less than what this was. And then, lo and behold, you find out, well, some big gamer or something got their channel removed, or they got hacked or demonetized, or, you know, all kinds of stuff. It's like, it feels like a lot of the gaming channels and vlogging channels are all connected in some way, you know? and they all kind of like I wouldn't say leech off each other, but they're all kind of interconnected. So when a big channel does well, like, you kind of do well too, in a sense, because the ad sales are going to be there. The bigger partners are going to drive bigger advertisers, and they're going to raise the CPM overall, and that's not really happening anymore. A lot of these bigger YouTubers aren't bringing in ad revenue. They're bringing in brand deals that work with those YouTubers alone, because those YouTubers are still hitting those numbers. So the brand deals only really help the person with the brand. It's not something that goes and helps like the creators overall. That's what ad revenue is, and ad revenue is shrinking. That's why YouTube made the memberships. That's what they did, because they know. And that's why they're pushing for... Have you guys seen that new feature? K-Wing mask off. There's a new feature coming to YouTube. I can't tell you when it's happening, but it's going to be sometime in 2023. You may have noticed when you watch YouTubers' videos, it says free, right? In probably a year or so, at least from what I remember them talking about this, because they were trying to activate the beta feature on the Let's Play channel, I said no. And this channel, I said no. But there's a feature coming where you will have to pay for content on YouTube. It'd be like a monthly package like Xbox Live or something like that, where there'll be free content that creators are supposed to give out, and there'll be paid content. And I opted out of it for now. I had a choice, and I said no. Because I knew it would kill my channel, so I said no. But it's coming, because they're desperate to keep the thing going, to keep the lights on, and they think that they can convince people to pay. It's kind of like YouTube Red all over again, but a terrible version of YouTube Red. Because basically the consumer is just going to end up paying for content that was free for years. And it's not that the content's going to get better for your money. They're just going to, you know, do that. And that's coming. I would guess sometime in 2023. I don't know when, though. I don't have that information. I just heard some things, opted out of some things, signed some stuff, but not for that. I did not... Anything that was going to impact the channel negatively, I said no. I only did certain fun things, which were interesting, like the ability to run ads, mid streaming ads, during live streams was a feature that we enabled on the Let's Play channel. So that's why sometimes when you're watching stuff, ads will play during a stream. We were invited to do that, and that actually helped improve our revenue a little bit for a while. I don't know if they're still doing it. They randomly do it. It's like if you stream for 2 hours, there might be 2 ads that'll play like every hour or something like that. But it's not consistent, because when they do it, it increases your revenue for a little bit. Like it helps the health of the channel. So anything that helps the Let's Play channel, they don't do consistently. It's random. Amber tells me sometimes that too many ads were put on a stream she did, and then no ads. And then a stream I did that had 200 people watching, YouTube didn't run any ads for that 2-hour stream, which means we made basically nothing. So it's not, you know, I can't tell you if it works or not, because it's not consistent. If it was happening every day, I'm sure that we would be in much better situation, but we have no control over it. So yeah, that would make my day, because I would be able to sleep more. I haven't really slept much in a long time, which I don't even know what time I'm gonna get the YouTube short up today. I don't even know what the YouTube short is. My mind is kind of mush at this point. I'm just like really liking the green grass and the relaxing music, and this game is pretty cool. But I haven't done anything today. I wasted Akira's stream. Because I don't know how to progress the story, because I'm just kind of... Like, picture like a explosion in your mind, and that's my mind right now. It's just kind of... there, but not. I think I just went back to the people. But I mean, I'm thinking I'm doing something, because I keep finding things to pick up. Unless they respawn constantly, I don't know. I don't think these things are supposed to respawn. Maybe they do, I don't know. I like to view it as, oh, those things that are dropping, it kind of like marks my trail. If I don't see the spark thingies here, then that means I haven't been to this area before. But if I see this, if I don't see any sparks, then it's like, okay, I've already been here. And if I see sparks, it's like, oh, okay, I haven't been here. But I could be wrong. They could be dropping sparks on the ground, places that I've already visited before. I don't know. But I enjoyed my time with this stream, even if it got weird. My streams always get weird after midnight. It just happens. Basically, the less people that watch late night, I guess it's... I know that... Well, I mean, in Akira's case, I know that this video already, you know, succeeded in ways that, you know, most videos wouldn't. So, it's just kind of like a more relaxed thing. Because tomorrow I'm going to get a notice from YouTube's analytics department, or analysts or whatever. And you know how you get a bad report card when you're in school and the teacher like puts red all over stuff, tells you what you're doing wrong? Well, I'm gonna get a report card on this video in like 3 hours, and it's gonna have negatives all over it. Like it's just gonna have like, you weren't able to get enough people in, your concurrent viewers were low, your watch time was low, the game choice was bad, the blah 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 blah. There's gonna be like a lot of stuff, and they started rolling out this really terrible program of like grading your content 3 or 4 years ago, and every year it gets worse and nastier. Like, and that does something to your mental state of mind. It'd be like your boss telling you suck every day. You know, so I mean, it's the Let's Play channel is not a fun channel to log into every morning, because you know, and what I can't prove this yet, but I've been told by somebody that when YouTube looks at your performance, they readjust your channel so that it performs the same way the next month until you improve. Like, they make that your new normal. Which seems like totally illegal. But, like, I told you guys before that if a stream or a upload performs badly, then the next stream would not work as well. Right? Or upload. That seems to be the case. But again, I don't have proof. It's just merely, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just speculation, or conjecture, I think is the word. But other channels that are performing just like us have noticed the same thing too. Whereas before, each video you would upload would be considered, you know, its own thing. It wasn't graded based overall on what you did. Like, that's how videos were able to go viral before, because if you judge, let's say you had a video get 1 million views, right? but then your video, the next one you uploaded, only got like 50,000 views or 10,000 views. YouTube's going to be really mad at you because the next video that you posted didn't get 1 million views. So they're going to psychoanalyze you and give you the runaround of saying why you didn't perform well, and they're going to try to, you know, tell you certain trends to follow and things like that, so you'll hit those numbers. And before they didn't used to do it. It's totally corporatized now. If when we were doing really well and they were evaluating our channel today like they, or back then, like they do today, I don't think we would have had as many viral videos, because each piece of content that you did was its own like little island. You know, it had no connection to anything else. And today, everything you do is connected to your channel as a whole. Good or bad, it's all connected. And that doesn't seem like it's right. And then they have the audacity, like every 6 months, to send you a notice to channels they are worried about burnout, and they send you the hotline for suicide awareness, or, you know, they want you to you know, slow down and things like that. So they're very, they don't seem like they're a very good company sometimes. You know what I mean? Like it seems like kind of like they're subconsciously like pushing people to be like, well, your channel's not doing well, so maybe, you know, dark thoughts, you know. It's and the fact that they remind you of things constantly, I mean, that just seems like being a bully, you know. I don't think you guys would like it if you got a report card every day for your job. I think that anyone would be kind of like, what? And you can't turn it off either. It's all connected to their algorithm. Oh, I've gotten to play Ragnarok for my own like peace of mind and stuff like that, because I don't usually have time to play certain stuff like on camera. Because our audience only likes certain stuff. This is a special stream. This is a this is a sponsored stream for VIP membership. So they VIPs get us to play whatever they want within reason. I mean, we don't do nudity, obviously. We don't do that. Can I go inside the pipe? Can I go in? No. I can run on the pipe. I like how the color changes too. Before I looked like I was wearing blue, now I look like I'm wearing a different color. I mean, at least I leveled up and I explored a lot of the area. But I think I'm gonna find the next checkpoint and check out, get something to eat, and start working on the short for today, whatever that's gonna be. I don't even know if Kira's still awake. Maybe he is, I don't know. Night, Dave. Thanks so much for moderating tonight. Whoa, those giant dudes came out of nowhere. Oh, yeah, at least we're leveling up. We're probably fighting enemies that we're not supposed to be fighting right now. You got a Disney shift? That's cool. Oh, I hang in. You know, I'm still here. I'm a fighter. I don't give up. Only thing that's gonna take me down someday is gonna be illness. I don't believe in checking out like that. It goes against my religion. So people never have to worry about that. With me, like, it'll be, you know, probably illness. Amber jokes around. It's gonna be. She says it's gonna be like I'm gonna end up like a Japanese businessman who overwork themselves. That's why I kind of freak out sometimes. I get a bad headache. It's like, I'm probably having an aneurysm. Because I probably work as much as a normal Japanese person. Like, somebody works at a Japanese business or something like that. I do about sometimes 12 to 14 hours a day out of a 24-hour day. Sometimes I wish the days were longer. I could get more stuff done. I don't like sleeping. If there was a way I could survive without sleeping, I wouldn't sleep. Like, but the human body has to sleep, so. And when you're in your late 30s and getting near your early 40s, you have to sleep longer. even if you don't want to. Okay, this is an area I don't think I've been to yet, so I'm gonna save here and continue here next time if Akira does this again. I wouldn't want it. This stream was probably super weird for so many reasons, or maybe I'm just second guessing myself. I don't know. I don't even have proper time codes anymore. I don't even know what I'm doing. Yep, competition is a good thing though. Like, but they don't see themselves as competing with Twitch anymore. Or Facebook gaming. I thought Facebook gaming was going to be the future, but they fired us. They only kept us. They had. I mean, at least YouTube's evaluation, they didn't fire you. Like, they still let you do your channel for now. If they adopt the same method that Facebook Gaming does, Facebook Gaming gives you a 6-month evaluation. If your numbers don't improve, they remove your partnership. So they gave us partnership. They made us official Facebook partners, and then after 6 months, they fired us. Because they said that our numbers didn't improve that much. Because they were expecting us to hit the same numbers that our Let's Play channel hit, and it would be impossible because they said, well, we don't understand. You have 500,000 subscribers. How come you aren't able to bring them over to Facebook Gaming? It says, well, we were hacked. And they're like, we don't understand. It's like, well, when you get hacked, your channel doesn't work anymore. You know, you have, like, people who are super fans and stuff like that, but your notification system gets nuked. They're like, well, what do you mean by your notifications? It's like YouTube subscriber system is tied to notifications now. It's been tied to notifications for years, like 3 or 4 years, I think, 5 years maybe, I don't know. Each year it gets worse, but basically, if something happens to your notification system, which ours is broken, how are you going to reach your subscribers for videos? It's not like you just subscribe to something and YouTube says, oh, you're subscribed now. Like Facebook Gaming or, you know, a newsletter, we're going to send you stuff every single day. It doesn't work that way. Not only do they have to subscribe, but they have to hit notifications, and there's different tiers of notifications. And if they hit the wrong notification tier, they won't be notified anyway. So the reason why our numbers did so well, I was telling this Facebook executive who didn't care, or Facebook person, Facebook suit person. It's like back in the day, you get people subscribe and they would watch your content because it'd be easy to be alerted through the subscription service. But YouTube doesn't have a subscription service anymore. They have a notification system. And that only works as if, like, the people opt in for the notifications. So it's like subscribe plus ultra, or subscribe with other things. And the Facebook guy looked at me like that was a crazy method, like in that video call. And he said, well, I wish you and Amber both luck, but we're letting you go. Because he says, we told you had to go from 50,000 views a month to 150,000 by this point in time, and you just, you know, you couldn't hit those numbers. If you're able to, you know, do that again, but if you try to come back into Facebook gaming, we're going to make it so that, you know, you're going to start off at you know, what we ended your contract with. And it's like, oh my gosh. And I was just thinking to Amber, I was like, if YouTube did this thing that Facebook does, where they evaluate you based on, you know, how your numbers keep dropping, so many people in YouTube would lose their jobs. Because, like, everybody's dipping in millions of views a month constantly. You would never be able to grow in numbers anymore. And they would just, like, if they adapted Facebook stuff, like, people would be finished. There would be so many channels that wouldn't hit their quota. Because you can't. That would be evil, but that's why I say Facebook is more evil than YouTube, is because Facebook is real bad. It's like, Facebook's like working for the devil. YouTube is like working for a fallen angel that, you know, isn't all bad, but could be bad, you know, if the wrong person in leadership gets some kooky ideas, I guess. But it could be worse. And, you know, with them rolling out that paid-for service and some other stuff, I mean, it could really... I hope it blows up in their face and they drop things and kind of go back to how things used to be, because it would be better for everybody. But that's just my 2 cents. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter what I say. Because I can't make any change, and I can't harm anything. Like, I'm just a nobody, so it doesn't matter. As long as I don't issue out threats or something to anybody, nobody will pay attention to me. Which is fine, you know. I'm just in my own little kind of corner of the internet. But yeah, this is kind of what somebody sounds like when they've been beaten down so much. You just kind of lose hope, I guess, of certain things. But, like I said, every day I get up, it's a new day. Every day's a new day. No matter how hard life gets. Look at me. I have a neuropathy where I'm losing the ability to feel my legs to walk properly without assistance. Whether it's like a brace that I wear, or a cane that I use, or special socks to help with circulation. You know, I've got condition with my brain because of a car accident survival thing, and my job isn't doing very well. So I've got like 3 or 4 things I'm dealing with on a daily basis, and I get up. I thank God for the blessings that I have. I don't curse Him. You know, I have a roof over my head. I've got a somewhat steady income. Some days I have my health more than others. So, you know, there's a lot that I'm very appreciative of, and a new day always comes. Some days are better than others. Some days are terrible. But as long as I make it through one day, then the next day comes and it might be better, you know. So that's my philosophy. I don't know if it works for everybody, but that's how I roll. That's why, you know, I get up every day, do it again. I don't know how long Amber can do it at my philosophy, because she's not me. Like, Amber has told me several times she wants to quit doing YouTube and do something else, and she probably will eventually. She's not meant to handle something like this. This was my job, and I invited her into it because I thought it was going to be easy, and then it got super hard, and I feel terrible because it's kind of lied to her again. Some days she loves it, and other days she doesn't love it, and I just keep doing it because I have to do it. So, but she doesn't have to. She can go on and do music, or she could. She's brilliant. She was a nurse. She was an RN. She was a secretary for a law firm. She was orthodontist assistant. She could be a teacher. She could do whatever she wants. I can't. So I have a lot of limitations because of my illnesses and things like that I can't work outside the home. So and I can't do as many jobs as she can. So I'm here until the ship goes down, pretty much. Like I'll be here until YouTube hits an iceberg, like the Titanic, and then I'll be there like one of the last people before I get on the lifeboat, you know. Anyway, this was a weird stream. Part of it was really fun though. I needed to play this game tonight because it's fun to play. I didn't progress the story at all because it's a vast open world. Very, very big open world, you know. I think it let me save. Yeah, I'm gonna save here too. I don't know. Combat in the game is fun. 2B is a really cool character. Moveset's cool. Environments are cool. The shoot 'em up levels are cool. But when I played this game years ago, I ended up free roaming by accident several times because just finding where I needed to go was kind of confusing. It kind of felt like when I was playing Shadow of the Colossus or that one game where I'd get lost for hours because I just have a terrible sense of direction. But shout outs to the birthday boy again. Thank you, Akira. I'm gonna get 3 hours of sleep and then work on the other channel again, and then I'll probably do some writing, and then I'll go to sleep again and be normal by the 5:30 stream, mostly. So yeah, everybody have a great night, and I'm gonna go say hi to Zelda, and then I'm going to sleep for a little bit. But you guys take care. So remember, guys, any parting words I give you people, every day's a new day. Life is hard, life sucks. You can't change the cards that you're dealt in life, only how you use those cards. So that's my words of wisdom as a almost 40-year-old now. God bless, happy gaming, take care people. See you later.